Right, people. Uh, Here we are again. Uh, uh, right, there's 7 people. Big respect, Ash. Big respect. Big respect, Ash. Soldier in the house. Stacey Lou. Hello to you too. Miss Awesome. Respect also to you. So, without further ado, if you'll just give me 1 second, people. Soldier in the house. Stacey Lou. Respect to you. Soldier in the house. Miss Awesome. Respect to you. I'm sorry, people, but I'm feeling very, very weak. I feel like I've run 20 marathons. You wouldn't believe soldier in the house. Respect, soldier. Respect, Stacey Lou. Soldier in the house. Soldier in the house. Natty D. Big up, Arthur. Respect also to you. Respect, soldiers. Now, I'm sorry, people, but I have got a broken toe. My big toe's broken. And they keep telling me not to take it out of the boot. But when you've had it on all day, and you can actually move about, you know what I mean? Because your legs, it actually helps me to walk. It gives you a sense of false confidence. Because you can literally march up and down, you know what I mean? And because of the shape of the boot and everything, it takes the impact out of it, my spine and everything. The problem is when I come to stop, and like I've told you, it's like a buckled wheel. I just need the stick to, tell you about a little tale about my stick. Now, ever since, this is going to sound mad, people, and please excuse this. It's actually made it better for me because I put a valve in it and it was okay, but I don't know what happened. I think, like an idiot, I forgot to take it out when I put it in washer. And as Marty Blackberry and Live Free will back me up 100% on Marty Blackberry called yesterday. I had this other girl she's from down south. She's from Lakenheath. Yeah, she's a fucking southerner. She's a fucking southerner, and she's like a mod for me. And I knew she was pretty handy with computers and that, and Live Free set the phone up and everything looked fine and everything we thought were working. But then when he'd gone and I went to try and make a call on it, I couldn't make a call. But I can't go chasing him all the time. It just wasn't right. And when he took, and you were 100% sure it was set up. So I dropped on this lass that I know, like I've said, and a bloke, I know her husband as well. And Well, she'll kill me for calling him an husband because they're living off at Brush. But like I say, she's a southerner and he's from up here, and they try to look after me. So what happened was, it was saying that it needed this code, and I didn't understand it because I'm whipping top here. So eventually I found the Sky thing. So she went through it all and she was pulling her head out because things weren't going smooth and all that, like she thought. And then eventually, and it kept saying, change your password, change your password. To sync this and sync that, you've got to change your password. You can change it back later if you want, sort of thing. So I thought, that's okay anyway. See, Live Free looks after my account. And to get his mind off where it is because that day he's had, he has a look and see if there's all untoward on mine. And if aught needs looking at, he looks at it. There's been a lot of bad goings on around me at the minute, and it's all bad karma. And I really, really believe it's down to the aircraft that the officers told me was possessed. And I'm sorry I keep looking out there, people. I've had to leave my car ticking over, so I might just take it along with me. I think you see, I've got articles set up round the kitchen that I can hobble to. And this breakfast stool, when I lean back, it's the tight wick bar round chrome. And if I lean it away from the wall and I sit on it properly and lean back, it pressures right on bottom at S1. And I've had a S1 nerve decompression already. It eliminated a bit of the symptoms, but not for long, and it's 20 times worse now. If you can imagine, you'll have to excuse the phrase because I don't know any other way to describe it. If you imagine red rum has kicked you in the plums, and that feeling you get like that, imagine that 24/7. Well, believe me, sex life is the first thing to go because no, it's going to work well, it's like that. And it damages sciatic nerve. And that creates problems. I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to take you with me. It's what it is, people. Where I live, it's not a very nice area. Well, it is, and it isn't. What it is. Oh, you'll have to bear with me a moment, people. Just shut me down, and here we go. Oh. You'll have to bear with me while I turn music off, because as you can hear, the car is ticking over. And I'll explain as I get once I've got in. Just kill this music, people. Put some more light on. Just get comfortable. turn a few things down. Wow. Just bear with me, people. One moment. I'll set this up. Wow. I hadn't thought about this one, but I think this is easiest way, cause where I was, I couldn't really see. And only way to look after this car at the moment is to be sat in it. Let me just bear with me, people. Oh, it will actually be comfier in here because just need to get in properly. Wow. I don't need a seatbelt, people, because we're on we're parked up properly and everything. It's we're off road. It's just that I didn't want it to icing up because although I've got some more antifreeze, I'm not sure how much is in, and they're predicting some bad snows, and I've had to run about, and because they're all messing about, the police created. I'm not even going to try and get into that at the moment because it's all been a bit too much, really. And it ended up 4 visits to Normanton police station, and every time we went they told us a different thing, something else that we needed. Then they said we had to keep going back to Normanton because well, I now know. I actually know. I'm not going to say what I now know because, well, partly I am. Partly I am. I'll put it that way. But I don't want to give too much away at this stage. I don't want to play the full deck at the minute. And I'm wearing my Joker mask at the minute because, to me, that's what it's been. You see, my daughter, she's a care nurse, and she works in homes for special needs. Adults, kids, everything. And to me, she has more than shown I can't even say how much I appreciate my son and daughter at the moment, because what happened, I'll tell you exactly what happened. They saw I were in a mess, a proper mess. They could see what I was telling them, that the law were just messing me about any way they can to stop me telling my tale. Because the next people to get exposed are another chief inspector, an inspector, both from Wood Street Police Station, 4 members of the same crew, detective constables from Wood Street Police Station, and 2 other detective constables, I believe it's 1 from Huddersfield and 2 from Dewsbury. There were 5 altogether, and what happened was one of them weren't happy with what happening. Only how can you think? I can't even think about it because it torments my head to death. And a lot of people have misinterpreted what I said. And then people are from Fitzwilliam. And shame on you. That's what I'm going to say to you. Shame on you. When you find out who I am, you'll go, wow. Wow. That's not soldier in the house. Respect soldiers. And I'm sorry, but this is as far as I can get today. I'll be lucky if I can even stand up at me. Respect soldiers, and what I'd like to say, let me just do this at least. Respect Stacey Lowe. Respect soldier. And she says respect Arthur. And soldier in the house, Natty D, respect. He says big up Arthur. And then I'm sorry people, what it is, I don't know if my name is Arthur or Martha. And I'm sure if you even knew half of what Marty Blackburn, Chunky Monkey, or Live Free could tell you, jump on any of their channels and ask them, and they will tell you that they have seen themselves things they cannot believe themselves. Live Free thought he'd set my phone up. I would 100% he'd done it because I'm whipping top era. He went away, we all thinking everything's bang on and that. So when he'd gone, I tried to make a call from it because it's got its own. I've now got 2 contract phones, 2 different networks, and brand new S21 Plus, and that's what Live Free set up for me. And everything looked hunky-dory, and he went away, and I tried to use it, and like I say, it didn't work, so I couldn't pester him. He'd gone home, he's done a day's work, do you know what I mean? I know how stressed he gets. And me and him at saying, you get home and you have all the emotions and the planning and everything, it all comes to fruition when you sit down. And all them emotions hit you at once. And then you've got your kids, you've got to say hi to and help get them to bed and do what only thing you can do at that time. But sometimes you don't even feel fit to do that. Live Free's lucky. He has got an excellent partner. They are a very, very, very well matched couple. They've got 3 beautiful kids, and they're all well looked after. And I mean well looked after. And his little girl, she's a credit to him. All his kids are, but what I mean is his oldest little girl, I can't believe how intelligent she is. She drew a picture of me and Live Free and I cannot believe it, honest to God. You can have a full-blown, She can show me things on my phone that I can't even understand what she's showing me. But she does, honest to God, I can't believe it. So, as you seen when she did Snowman and everything, them times are precious. But he should be home more because his kids are at age now. They're doing something new all the time. I think Mrs. Live Free films them for him, so he don't miss out. So when he's set my phone up and he tells me it's right and I can't say why it's not, I can't even explain what's what when I ring him up to tell him what's up, you know what I mean? But by pure luck I dropped on this lass I know, an her bloke, and I asked him to come and have a look, and she did exactly the same, and it kept saying that I had to do a retina ID or fingerprint. Well, because I fell downstairs when I broke my big toe again, I've smashed my hands on the walls trying to break my fall. And I must have damaged all ends of my nerves in my fingers because my hands look like they've been beat with sticks. They're tingling like mad 24/7. I can't dab the phone to do anything with it. It's pure luck whether it responds when I touch it. I'm actually touching things too hard. I've made 3 cups of tea on trot and done exactly the same each time and knocked it over, knocked it everywhere, and ended up having to clean everything again. And one of the most heartbreaking things that's happened to me is my next door neighbour moved out. Well, she was actually a new neighbour, but I knew geezer before. He was a friend of mine as well, and they were deaf. Couldn't speak, couldn't hear, and I believe Dennis had no sense of smell either. And then he got bowel cancer. I couldn't believe it. He suffered for 10 years. And I mean suffered. I lost count how many times I have phoned ambulances out for him. And then when he passed away, she wanted to go back down south. So she sold the house. And the granddaughter actually moved out and moved over the road, and she's still here. She's like my daughter. She's here all the time. I love it when she comes because she sits there and she can read me like a book. Oh, you know, they can. But I can read her like a book. But I can't sign. How mad's that? It just works. In fact, I expect her later on. She's actually a carer as well. But because I keep breaking my toes, once I'm sat and I'm firm and everything's had time to sort of catch up, and I'm holding on a steering, I'm actually safer at work because I can push myself. You know, because your driving position is 2:45. It's good for me because I can, and lumbar on seat, I can push into it because there's actually 3 or 4 vertebrae in my back that are bulging, that they're saying it'd be too risky because of my neck, and there is too much damage to my neck to try and fix it. So basically I've got a death sentence. They've told me it's not if, it's when, and that's one of top deans in country. And he just says, I asked him to tell me in layman's terms, because you get left severe, right moderate to severe, and the painkillers, it varies. One day it might just take edge off, day after it might be a little bit more. So that's when you start over. It's like that sense of relief. It's like when you're really badly injured, say your hand's all smashed up, you've got it in splints and everything, and it's numb 24/7. And then one day you get up and you can feel a difference. And first off you worry, because you think, oh God, what's happening? Then nurse comes, takes all dressing off and everything, and they go, oh yeah, no, that's looking good today. So that bit of relief, that why it feels different, that bit of relief is like, it feels massive. So day after, instead of just taking the edge off, you might take a little bit more off as well. So that difference between them feels massive. So wow, you think, wow. But best way to deal with it is to do what I've done. Only not as I've done. I've just jumped straight in at deep end. And my head is still at St. Camilla's. And I'm already in Weymouth 1990. So you see what I'm trying to do, trying to explain. My head can't be in 2 places at once. I can't deal with St. Camilla's. And I can't deal with St. Camilla's people until I've done part 4. That's going to be massive. Now I'm back to Fitzwilliam. And for now, I'm going to call him same as I've called him all along. I shouldn't be here, mate, because them at words I remember, they haunt me. Live Free, Marty Blackburn, Youthful Transparency, Society X and Chunky Monkey will all tell you what a state just thinking about him puts me in. So until I've actually dealt with that, just trying to get a bit more comfy, people. I am comfortable, but what's happened, I had a warning light showing something with brakes. I thought that was very odd. And what makes it even odder, it's done it again. And I can't say much more without revealing too much. But somebody's been messing with the vehicle anyway. Because I'm big, I'm very big on safety. Yes, I want a getaway driver. And that's what I'm good at. In fact, I'd say I'm one of the best. And as Chunky Monkey can confirm. Because, let me tell you this, I had already mentioned in earlier videos, long before I actually met Chunky Monkey. But there's that many people with similar names. There's Yorkshire Monkey. There's all sorts of monkeys. No wrong with monkeys, as all Dragon's Den have just found out the difference between a chimpanzee, which we all know, 3 times stronger than any human, and then there's the bonobo. Well, I'm sorry people, but the bonobo actually thrashed all 3 at Dragon's Den. Didn't have a chance. Now think about that one, to be beat by an ape. And it were actually a lot faster as well. And you've only got to look at how intelligent them people are. Oh. I'm sorry people. Oh. Oh my God. What it is, people. Oh. I've just took some extra painkillers. They're actually just starting to kick in. But for some reason, all I can explain, only way to explain it is, the pain you get is like when you catch nerve on your tooth. That stab first, and then that intense, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And it feels like the muscle's trying to actually tear off the bone. And it's pumped 12 and it's trying to rip off the bone. And the only way to sort it out is to put your weight on it and stand properly. And stretching the opposite muscle is what sorts it out. Well, that happens to half my body about every 2 hours through night, or through day if I can't sit more than a couple of hours without having to shuffle about. because I suffer for it. But if I go out, it's like, best way to describe it is, it's exactly the same as nesting instincts women have the day they're gonna have the baby. And what I find about this as well, people, I'm just making I'm just making sure it's in the right spot first. Because I'm that dehydrated, I'm sorry people. Oh. I can't believe how dehydrated I've been getting. I think it's the side effects of the dural-oxetine. Now, what happened when I fell down the stairs? It was on one of my nightly trips, heading to low, and that's what I do. I drag my son out of bed, I hobble, and I use the staircase and the handrail to like bump into going down the stairs to keep things moving. Indoors, and I've got behind the settee and I'm bumping that way. And once I'm in, I can lean against the radiator and lean back, and it takes pressure off my back. And I can lock my hands together like as if I'm going to do some squats. And then I set off back up, and you're using different muscles again because you're going uphill this time. By the time I get back into the bedroom, opposite side this time, and I've got myself in bed and set the pillows up right and everything, that kicks in, because that side is finally alright, and that's when you can drift off, so you like just drift straight back off. 2 hours later, you're back up again. Well, I fell down must have been about 6 or something in the morning. I didn't realise it took as long, because when you trap that nerve, you can be like nothing. And then 2 hours later, poof. And then you think, what were I doing? So you stand there and you're looking around trying to jog your memory. So you trash your head trying to think that hard, and it ain't gonna work. And can I just say as well, paramedics will even tell you now, all that time they were sticking collars on people, there was more chance of them dying while they're tugging about, straightening your neck up, to put that collar on. That's why they don't do that no more. They just put blocks at the side of your head and then tape your head to the blocks. And then they sort all your spine out same way. And when they can, they put you in one of them suits and they blow it up. And that's like, wow. But to be wrapped up like that, if I suddenly were okay and I woke up wrapped up like that, I would die of fright. You know how people used to, well, they still do, don't they? Wrap the babies up like that to prevent them scratching themselves. So they put, wow, I have nightmares about that. I actually, before I even knew about what were up, because this has been going on long before 2009. The twitching started pretty much straight away after the topping in Armley Prison, just before Christmas 1980. And as I've said, before, I woke up on hospital wing in a padded cell. And only way to describe the gown that they put you on, if you get a black bin liner and cut an hole in to pull your head through and stick two holes inside to stick your arms through, and then use a mailbag people, mailbags, same material, exactly the same, and then stuck in a strip cell. And I mean strip cell, nothing in it. Padded walls, soundproof. Do you know what soundproof does to your head? Wow. No, you don't, do you, people? Well, I do. So does Frankie Fraser and all the rest of the boys. And then think about, wow, Charles Bronson, wow, getting on for best part of 40 years, solitary confinement. Now I would like to think that one day he could be free, but we've got to be real, people. There's no recovering from that, is there? Now they've got him, I've done a documentary on him anyway, and so has Live Free. I think a few games of dominoes and he's rehabilitated. He'll only be good while he needs to be, to suit himself. Courtney, I'm gonna bite your fucking face off. Courtney, you fucking cunt, yeah. I'm gonna bite your fucking face off. Courtney. Made his fucking hair stand on end, didn't it, Courtney? Yes, you know. You know. Now, round the time the Essex boys were running Basildon. In fact, just as he was, I think he'd just taken over the club. I actually were there painting Boots Chemist on shopping precinct. Wow. And we lived in one of the houses. If you took me to Basildon now, I could take you direct to the house where we stopped. And then what days when ease were proper ease. The man that made him in first place, he was a scientist, and he made him in the bottom of his garden, and they were capsule, and he just tried them out with his mates. Then when it took off, and raves were proper raves then, you met up in wow, you know, motorway services. They'd say, right, I'll meet up so and so services, Peterborough. So you'd all go, everybody'd be at Peterborough. So they'd have a mini rave going on car park. Then somebody'd get a phone call and say, all right, we've got to be junction whatever onto so-and-so road, so-and-so place, and then you'd all wait there. And then it'd be a disused barn somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And by the time you got there, they'd have all tunes booming. They'd have bits of white sheets hung up all over the place. Bales of hay for you to sit on and all sorts. Makeshift. And wow, what raves they were. They were the best. Then same as usual, they started getting fucking greedy. Easy to mess with, wasn't they? Tip a bit of that, add a bit of this in. It's like same with bash. You know what bash is, people, yeah. Well, what about bash for brown? You know what that is, don't you? You know, easiest blagging world, and it's as common as shit. This is it. You crunch paracetamol in a mortise, crush it up to powder, then throw it in a Tefal. A Tefal non-stick pan, and put it on heat and leave it alone. And it goes like toffee, like treacle. It's like somebody's poured treacle in pan. So when it's like that, you get some parchment paper and you pour it out like you would toffee. Pour it out onto the parchment paper and leave it, and it'll set. It'll set like treacle. It'll look like treacle. So then, as soon as it's dried and it's gone hard, oh God, my vision's gone and everything. I can't see a thing.
having visions like that. I'm sorry people, but this is what they tell me. My symptoms are going to get worse and worse like this. And at the moment, I'm glad I'm sat in this chair because the seat, the lumbar's in base of my back. When I lean back like this, oh, now that's perfect, that, because it's took out pressure here off 7th vertebra, because that's where, what it is, the repair that they did 2013 has been absolutely no good whatsoever. Oh God. If I could lean over to cut this short, that's what I would do at this moment. And as soon as I can get my head together, I'm going to have to do that, people, because, oh my God. Oh. Right, people, I'm sorry, I've got to go. Sorry, people. Respect everybody.